City. Eli Manning, the Giants' all-time quarterback, has decided instead of being a backup or signing with another team, he'd rather retire at the age of 39. There will be a Friday press conference for an official announcement. The two-time Super Bowl MVP played all 16 years with the Giants and owns every passing record of importance. But he lost his starting job to rookie Daniel Jones in Week 2, only to return to the lineup in Week 14 and thrill the fans at MetLife Stadium in his final home start in Week 15. That was a 36-20 win over the Miami Dolphins, and he received a proper send-off from Big Blue fans. Giants co-owner John Mara said today Eli Manning defined what it is to be a New York Giant, both on and off the field. Eli finished his career with a 117-117 record in the regular season and an 8-4 record in the postseason, which includes those two magical Super Bowl runs. Next stop, Canton, Ohio.
Giants quarterback Eli Manning will announce his retirement from the NFL on Friday, ending a 16-year career and beginning a complicated conversation about his Hall of Fame candidacy. Manning leaves behind a legacy of one of the greatest clutch quarterbacks of all time, with a pair of Super Bowl championships and 2 Super Bowl MVP awards, one against Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and the New England Patriots. He also holds the 10th longest consecutive games played streak, appearing in 210 straight games as one of the NFL's great Iron Men. However, Manning is a 500 regular season quarterback. He has an 8-4 playoff record, and he only won a playoff game in 2 seasons. But he did lead the Giants to Super Bowl victories in both of those trips to the postseason. Manning was never one of the 5 best quarterbacks to play the game for a multi-season stretch. He only made the Pro Bowl 4 times in 16 seasons, but when the chips were down against one of the greatest dynasties in the history of sports, Manning delivered on the game's biggest stage. He was the face of the Giants franchise for 16 seasons, a pillar in the community, and while his Hall of Fame candidacy will likely depend on the 5 modern-day candidates eligible for enshrinement alongside him, Eli Manning will go down as one of the greatest players ever to wear a Giants uniform and reside prominently in the Giants Ring of Honor.
And back around here, it's the end of an era for the New York Giants.
Yes, after nearly 2 decades in the NFL and 2 Super Bowl wins, number 10 quarterback Eli Manning is retiring at 39 years old. CBS 2's Otis Livingston here now with more.
Yeah, Christina Maurice, Eli Manning had a decision to make, and he decided to hang up the cleats after 16 seasons in the NFL. The debate will now start on if he's a Hall of Famer or not. Well, he wasn't perfect, but there's no debate. He gave it his all and left Giant fans with plenty of thrills and 2 important pieces of hardware.
And if this is the end of the road for Eli Manning, what a ride it's been.
On Friday, Eli Manning will put a cap on a 16-year career full of super moments. He leaves the game as the Giants leader in a majority of their most important passing categories.
Still fights out of it, now throws it deep downfield, wide open Tyree, who makes the catch. What a play by Manning!
He finishes in the NFL's top 10 in many stats, including completions, passing yards, and passing touchdowns with 366. He also had an Ironman streak of 210 straight games started, 3rd most in NFL history. Giants co-owner John Mara said of Eli today, Eli Manning defined what it is to be a New York Giant, both on and off the field. Former Giant head coach Tom Coughlin said it was an honor and a privilege to coach Eli and to go through the wonderful and magnificent moments that he and his teammates provided for all of us. And what wonderful and magnificent moments they were. They include 2 Super Bowls and being named MVP in wins over Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. But Eli didn't want to end his career as a backup with the Giants and didn't explore any options with another team. So he spent all of his 16 years in one uniform, Big Blue. And Giant fans thank him for all he's accomplished.
We got 2 championships, 2 Super Bowls. It's time.
I grew up watching Eli Manning, so just knowing that, he's gonna, hang his jerseys up is a bad. I don't really like it at all.
Look, man, he won us 2 Super Bowls. Got to give the respect where it's due, and that's pretty much it.
All right, press conference for the official announcement set for 11 o'clock on Friday. Eli Manning also leaves the game in the top 10 in another category. In fact, he's number 1 in salary earned with $252 million. Guess who's second? Brother Peyton with $249 million. That's a lot of cheese.
That it is. Hall of Fame right there.
I think, yes, that is definitely Hall of Fame. But I feel like he's going as well. First ballot.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Otis.
Because when I comment about a player should or shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, it's not Shannon Sharpe said a player should or shouldn't be. It's Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe said. And it's almost like I'm saying he doesn't deserve to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But when you look at it, Skip, he's going to get in. He is. He's one of 5 quarterbacks that's won multiple Super Bowls and a 2-time MVP. Brady, Montana, Bart Starr, Terry Bradshaw. He's one of 5. That's it. And it's not, Skip, if he beats anybody else, who did he beat?
Yep.
He took down Goliath twice. Even if you say the first time the helmet catch was the luckiest, that throw to Mario Manningham might have been the greatest throw in Super Bowl history. Cover 5, to drop that ball in like he dropped it in, Skip, that was a great throw. See, I think the thing is we get so caught up. He ain't Peyton. He's not Brady. He's not Breeze. You talk, look, there are 320, 325 in the Hall of Fame. Skip, look, guys get in the Hall of Fame, but everybody ain't Jim Brown. Everybody's not going to be Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. So when you look at his career, yes, 117 is 117. That's not good. Led the league in interception 3 times. But, and the way it's going now, he getting in, Skip. And would I be surprised if it's on the first ballot? Absolutely not. Because they say the first ballot is for the best of the best. We're talking about you can't even tell the story of the NFL without these guys. Would I be surprised if they put him on the first ballot? No, I would not. But
wow. You wouldn't?
I would. No, Skip. Think about it. Because here's the thing. What should give people pause. It's not, well, Eli's retired. The first thing, what was the next thing out of the mouth of Eli's retiring? Is he a Hall of Famer? We've never had to ask that question about any other quarterback in the history of the game, Skip. Not one time.
Interesting.
But this is what and so this is how really on the fence a lot of people are. You look at him in his, and so I believe it should be an era. In your era when you played, look at his peers. Where do you put him? You can't compare him to guys that played, Elway in the 80s and 90s and these other guys. Look at when he played. He played against Brady. He played against Breeze. He played against, Big Ben. There are a lot of guys, Phillip Rivers will have that same conversation, minus the Super Bowl, about Phillip Rivers. But, Skip, I wish there was another way I could frame it. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's going to have a gold jacket.
Will you feel good about that?
I don't feel it. I'll be honest, Skip. I don't feel anyway. I don't feel anyway. Because, I'm sure there are people probably think I don't deserve to be in there, but I'm in there. So, Skip, look, it's hard. It really, Skip, it really is. People don't understand. It's kind of like, you do journalism. You win a Pulitzer Prize, or you win the highest writing honor, and they say, what do you think about this, Skip? You think this guy should win the Pulitzer? And Pulitzer Prize winning journalist Skip Bayless says no. Now he's like, well, Skip's jealous. Skip's a hater.
Sure.
So you can't win, but Skip, looking at the way it's trending and the guys that are getting in that we didn't think were going to get in, Eli Manning's going to be a Hall of Famer, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's on the first ballot.
I do appreciate your position on this because it is a precarious position that you were in. And not that people need to be reminded, but you did have to go through 3 ballots to get in.
I did.
So you know full well what it feels like not to get the call.
Yes.
It's hard on you.
Yeah, it is.
After all you accomplished, you don't get a call, and you don't get a call.
Yeah.
You got to wait a whole nother year. It's like, man, and it's torture, man.
I remember telling a couple of the guys that voted, I said, well, hell, if you didn't like 3 Super Bowls and 10,000 yards and 800 catches this year, you're not going to like it next year because guys are coming in with 1,000, with 1,200, with 1,300, and got 100 touchdown catches.
Interesting.
So how do you like 62 this year, but you're going to like it more next year?
Okay, I'm not in the Hall of Fame, and so I don't have to worry about what you're worrying about right now. What have I told you from the start? My rule of thumb.
You got to ask.
If you have to ask, you're not in. If you have to second guess it for 1 second, is he a Hall of Famer? It's like Tom Brady. Is he a Hall of Famer? Yes, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He's the greatest quarterback who ever played. Boom, he's in.
Right.
And I can do it with several other players.
Breeze.
Okay, it's just in.
Okay.
Let's think of somebody else, receivers, great Julio Jones, like he's just transcendent. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Correct.
And there's no, well, I don't know, did he? Okay.
Interesting.
So back in my early days on ESPN, I sort of invented in my mind the Hall of Very Good. And I will give you the Hall of Very Good for Eli Manning because he was very good.
Right.
He just wasn't transcendent. He didn't sort of reinvent how the position was played.
Right.
So for me, he's not in my vision of your Hall of Fame.
Right.
And there are some guys who have gotten in that I wouldn't have put in the Hall of Fame. But I'm staunch about it because I want it to be the cream of the cream.
You don't see general manager says, I need to find the next Eli Manning.
No. So to your point, he finished 117 and 117 as a starter.
Right.
That's not great.
Nope.
He led the league in interceptions 3 times, as you point out. So he started 16 seasons for a cornerstone franchise up in New York, the New York Football Giants, and he made 4 Pro Bowls in 16 seasons. That's not transcendent, right?
Right.
And he did, to your point, he won 2 Super Bowl MVPs. But the truth was that the Giants' defense, the defensive line, deserved to be the MVP of the first Eli Brady Super Bowl. And in the second one, just for the record, Brady's QBR in that game was 84 to Eli's 73. But Eli made 1 great throw. And that might have been the throw of his career,
right?
Down the chimney to Manningham.
It's hard to find another throw, Skip, in Super Bowl history that was better than that one.
Okay, but if Tom Brady doesn't barely miss another throw when they had the lead with 4 minutes left, if we could, there's the throw to Manningham. Now if we could see, this is Brady's throw to Wes Welker. And it's not a terrible throw. It's not like Dak overthrowing Tavon at Philadelphia where he missed him by 10 yards.
But people that's watching this, Skip, don't understand. Do you see that safety driving?
Yep.
If he throws it inside,
it's a problem. Okay?
A big problem for that receiver.
And I've said this many times. I believe Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe is going to catch that football.
Yeah.
Wes Welker's 5'9", 5'10", maybe, and he doesn't run many up the field routes. They're all underneath, and this was up the seam, and I don't think he's really used to adjusting in the air for a throw that was a bit outside because he needed to be a bit outside.
Looking at it, Skip, and I thought at the time, he got caught in between, do I turn and catch it like this, or do I turn and just catch it over my shoulder?
Well, trust me on this. If you go back and check out the play-by-play of this game, if he catches that ball and it's a first down, I'm pretty sure they're going to win the game.
The game's over.
Okay, so then Eli doesn't have a second MVP and Super Bowl ring. So then I look at Eli's body of work, and it's just, if you look at, he's 8-4 in the playoffs, but that was with 2 Super Bowl runs. And if you look at the last 8 seasons, he was the starter for the Giants. They made the playoffs 1 time in the last 8 seasons. Think about that. 1 time in the last 8 seasons, and you're saying he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame. What? Well, if I put Smith on the back of this uniform, there's no way.
But Skip, you know how the voters, how they think, and a lot of them think kind of like you think now. Most important position, most valuable position, and Super Bowls are everything to the quarterback. They're everything, and he got them. And who did he get them again? Skip, if he beats, I don't know, I don't know who the Patriots beat the year, but if he beats David Garrard in a Super Bowl, he beats a lesser tier guy.
Yep.
And then you look at the run that he went on to get there. He beat Aaron Rodgers once on the road. He did do that.
No, he did.
So
I'll give you that.
And people gonna look at like, okay, on his Super Bowl runs, who did he navigate through to get there? So and the way it's going now, like I said, it's just tough. It's just tough.
Okay. Now, back to my all-time pet peeve play. And it was, I have termed it the luckiest play in the history of the Super Bowl. And it just was. And Eli agreed with us in 2016 at the Super Bowl after the season that it was lucky. So look at this. He escapes 3 times. Today's rules, he would have been ruled
in the
down.
Grass. They like to say
in the grass. And then he just basically closes his eyes and throws it as far as he can up the middle of the field into trouble. And somehow David Tyree, who they said had terrible practices that week, somehow he goes up and snatches it against his face mask in front of a really good safety named Rodney Harrison, who's now on NBC. But look at that. He escapes 3 potential sacks in the grasps, and somehow Tyree comes down with it. And remember, that's a 3rd and 5 play from the Giants' 45-yard line. If you miss that, we're getting toward game over, right? Okay, so that did it. And then to Eli's credit, a few plays later, he did hit Plaxico.
They came on the blitz. They came on the zero blitz.
He made a nice read, and he found him on the fade, and he just threw it. It's beautiful. That's sweet, and I'm going to give you that because that's a game-winning touchdown pass.
Yeah. And you got to go for it. He knows the zero blitz. He's thinking, oh.
Okay, so brings me back to a guy we're going to have on the show from the Super Bowl, I think early in the week, and his name is Deion Sanders, and I'm his biggest fan, and you love him too.
I love it. That's my dog.
Deion Sanders reinvented the way cornerback was played. He changed the game. he took over games in ways that made him a transcendent figure. And there have been a lot of good cornerbacks, but he was the best. So if I could read a quote from him from yesterday about whether Eli belongs in your Hall of Fame, Dion said, honestly, I'm not so sure what being a Hall of Famer means anymore. Football immortality used to be reserved for players who redefined their position, made a big impact on the game, or dominated their position for a period.
San Diego Chargers and the New York Giants have exchanged their draft picks, Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers.
Manning over center. Takes the snap, drops back, blitzes on. Barber gets it. Manning drifts, throws to the end zone. Touchdown! Ahmad with 5 seconds to go. Manning being mobbed on the Giants sideline.
He should be.
They respond with 14 unanswered points.
And the Giants have a thrilling victory here, 24-23.
In week 2 of the 2006 season, the Giants trailed the Philadelphia Eagles 24-7 in the fourth quarter before Eli Manning would lead a comeback surge.
Manning takes the snap, throws it into the end zone for Tuma, makes the catch, touchdown, he got his feet down.
And in overtime, Eli would march Big Blue on an 85-yard drive, culminating with this fantastic finish.
3rd and 11, drops back, blitz on, heaves it left for Plaxico Burress, who makes the catch for a touchdown! And the Giants have won in overtime, and they come on the field and mob Manning. The Giants score 17 unanswered points in the fourth quarter and win it, and Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia is stunned.
Giants and Green Bay Packers getting set for the NFC Championship game. The winner advances to Super Bowl 42 in Glendale, Arizona. Will take the snap, looks right, throws right, looking for Burress, who makes the catch over the defender at the 35-yard line. He went hand-to-hand with Al Harris, and he beat him. All right, here goes Tynes again from 47 yards to kick the Giants to the Super Bowl. Snap is good. Kick on its way. End over end. Does it have the distance? It is good! And the New York Giants are going to Super Bowl 42 in overtime. They beat the Packers 23-20. The New York Football Giants and the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 42.
17-14, fellas. One touchdown, we are world champions.
This is what every quarterback lives for. And he takes the snap. Back to throw. Under pressure. Avoids the rush. And he's going to fight out of it. Still fights out of it. Now throws it deep downfield. Tyree, who makes the catch at the 23-yard line. What a play by Manning.
Eli, man, I don't know how he got out of there. I thought he was on the ground, and then he came out of the pile and just slings it. This ball's thrown, and Tyree just goes up for it like a basketball player. Harrison trying to knock it down. That's a great catch by David Tyree.
Manning takes the snap, looks left, lobs it left. Burress is wide open. Touchdown Giants in the left corner of the end zone.
Touchdown.
The New York Giants are the Super Bowl 42 champions. They knock off the mighty Patriots 17-14.
From rainy Candlestick Park in San Francisco, California, it's the NFC Championship game. Manning back to throw. He's under pressure again. And now he's going to get planted and sacked from behind by Aldon Smith.
He's hit. Down he goes. The avalanche of defensive pressure. The 6th San Francisco sack.
Manning back to throw. He zips one to the left of the end zone. Touchdown Giants. Mario Manningham. Snap is low. Kick on its way. It's got the distance, and it is good! And Lawrence Tynes has done it again. He's kicked the Giants to the 2nd Super Bowl in 4 years. It's the New York Football Giants and the New England Patriots. Super Bowl 46. Manning out of the shotgun set. He's back to throw. Climbs the pocket. Deep ball down the left sideline, and it's going to be caught. Was he inbounds? Yes! Manningham on the sideline. The officials say he got his feet in at midfield.
Wow.
simply remarkable. For the next 50 years, you'll be watching highlights of that catch if the New York Giants come back and win this.
Brady heaves one, jump ball, and it's incomplete, and the ball game's over, and the Giants have won Super Bowl 46. And Eli Manning and the Giants have finished off the Patriots in the Super Bowl for the second time in 4 years.
Here in the Digital Center is our highlight screening area. So that's where we get all the games that are played that night, down in a 90-second or 2-minute clips. Or
and we fly up into space, but then the music drops out. This could be love, because I had the time of my life. Never felt this way
It is my pleasure to introduce to you the 2 NFL Walter Payton Men of the Year, Mr. Eli Manning and Mr. Larry Fitzgerald.
And Larry, it is an honor to share this award with you.
Alex Tanney is going to come into the ball game to replace Eli Manning.
Close it out.
He gets a big hug and a standing ovation here at MetLife Stadium. So many thrills for Giants fans, all the fourth quarter comebacks.
Hey Giants fans, Saquon Barkley here. You want to see more videos? Subscribe below.